We also do Tasklet, which is a mobile warehouse management system to manage your warehouse on a mobile device, and Sana, which is an e-commerce add-on for Dynamics. So that's my introduction. It's just about who Simply Dynamics are and why you might buy an add-on as opposed to a customization. And I'm going to hand over to Martin now. So I'll just stop sharing my screen. And if I can make you presenter, Martin, or are you already presenter?
Let me try. So maybe you can tell me if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, very good. Well, good afternoon. Yeah, good morning, everybody, actually. Like Willie said, my name is Martin. I work for Continia, and we're a software company that create add-ons for Dynamics NAV and Business Central for Microsoft. I'm going to show to you document capture today, our solution for scanning, registering, and archiving of your invoices and credit notes. I'll be doing the presentation in Business Central, but also, like Willie said, it will work on NAV or earlier version of Business Central, and all the functionality is the same. You will not be missing out on anything. Questions, please type them into the chat box. At the end, I will ask Willie which questions that were asked, and I will answer them. And yeah, for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy for the upcoming 20-25 minutes. So document capture, it will be fully integrated into your Business Central. And as the finance team, you'll be able to select a role center, and there you'll be able to see a couple of things. On the left-hand side, you'll see under documents how many invoices came in, and they can come in two different ways. One, you receive invoices via the post. Yeah, you put them on the scanner, you press the button, and they'll be sent to Business Central. The second method is via email. You can have an email address like invoices@yourcompanyname.ie. You ask your vendors to send the invoices to that email address. Document Capture monitors it and downloads them straight into Business Central for you, and it does that automatically. We will be able to process PDF files and XML files. Should you receive a Word or an Excel file, then you manually need to convert it to PDF before it gets picked up by your software. No handwritten text, but none of the OCR engines can actually handle that pretty well. However, if you receive one, of course you scan it in, but basically you type everything in manually. Those are the tabs on the left side. Next up, we will see purchase approval. With document capture, we can approve invoices and credit notes here on the right-hand side, and an approver can see how many he or she has to do. I will get back to this approval process later on in my demo, so if you got questions about that, please hold them for now. What I want to do, just before this demo, I emailed some invoices to my demo email address. I put all the invoices into one email and press send, and about 10 seconds later, you'll see them coming in over here. For now, I'm pressing the button import files. When I press the button import files, the OCR scanner goes over the PDF files, and that OCR scanner allows us to do something with the text that is on them. We can automate this process for you, the import of files, but in my demo, I want to explain it to you, and that's why I put it to manual, because as you can see, it goes quite fast, and I cannot talk that fast. So yeah, now that they've been imported, they go into the document journal, and the document journal is the place where the accounts payable team will, will process the invoices. On the right-hand side, you get to see the original invoice. You can zoom in and zoom out, scroll through it. And if it has multiple pages, you can scroll through multiple pages. On the top left, you got your to-do list. In the middle, there will be a template, and down below, there will be comments. So how does our software work? We're going to create a template per vendor, and on that template, you're going to tell the system how do you want it to be processed. We can process any type of invoice that you might receive. Think of a simple cost invoice, where we can also match against your purchase orders. We can capture multiple lines of invoices, freight charges, discounts, whatever they send to you, we can do it. You just tell the system once, and next time it will go in automatically. Today, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. I'm going to start off very simple with a cost invoice, and then I'll do the more difficult ones afterwards. Before I'm going to do that, on the top left, we can see the document capture recognized the vendors. How did it do that? When I pressed the button import files in the previous screen, the system started scanning the document on the right-hand side. It found a VAT number, and then it found a match on the vendor card of Lewis Home Furniture. If there's no VAT number, the system will look for company name, address, postal code, contact person, everything automatically to fill in the vendor. The nice thing is that we're fully integrated into your Business Central. So let's say document capture could not find the vendor for the first time. You'll be able to open up your vendor list like you're used to, scroll through it, and even create a new one straight from here. You never have to leave Business Central. I'm going to create a template now. I do that by pressing Recognize Fields, and then the system will think for a second. And then we'll see a couple of things happening. On the right-hand side, orange and blue bars appearing. In the middle, a template with data, and down below, comments. If you look up here in the middle, in the left column field, this is where the master template lies that you get with document capture. And this master template contains the most common fields that can be found on an invoice, like invoice number, invoice date, order number, currency code, amounts. However, you can fully adjust this to your liking. We're integrated into your Business Central database, so we have access to a lot of fields, and you'll be able to add them yourself. Of course, Simply Dynamics will show you in the beginning, but after that, you can do it. In the second column, value, you can see that document capture, of course, tries to fill in as much as it can for you. However, the first time you check it, because sometimes the system makes a mistake the first time. If you click on, for example, the invoice number, you can see it gets highlighted on the right-hand side of the screen. It will always show you where it found it, whether that's on page number 1, 2, or 3, and jumps to it. You then see that orange bar and that blue bar. Orange bar is like the header the system is looking for, and the blue bar is the value that the system found, and that's how it will try to fill in everything. It found the invoice date, the due date, we got a contact person, no order number in our first example. We got a currency code, which is left blank because it's a local currency within my database. If you got a foreign currency, that will be shown over here, of course. We got all the amounts, and we can handle multiple VAT amounts on one invoice, so low and high VAT on one invoice is not a problem. Also no VAT, reverse VAT, whatever they might send to you. Because this is a cost invoice, the system asks for a general ledger account. That's this warning here at the bottom. I can open it, and I can then scroll through your general ledger account list, or I can type the one in that I like. I press OK. And then the system asks me, do you want to set this up as a default for this vendor? If I press yes, it will not ask about it again. If I press no, I will fill it in again next time. For now, I'll press yes, and then it's gone. That's a warning message. Also, we got another warning message, payment terms are not correct. What document capture does, it validates the due date with the payment terms that you have set up on the vendor. If they do not match, it will give you a warning. You can also choose for document capture to always honor your payment terms because your Business Central is leading. Back to the posting description, I can type something in here manually, combine fields from the PDF file, the template, whatever you prefer. In my demo, I want to show you how we can actually capture something of the invoice. It is very simple. I'm going to select posting description, and with my left-hand mouse button, I'll drag an orange box, making this a header. And with my right-hand mouse button, I will select the text that I want to capture. And now document capture knows how to capture the posting description for this vendor. Left and right click, that's about 90% of what the accounts payable team needs to do in the beginning. It is really not difficult. The last field, invoice/credit memo. Document capture automatically recognizes if this document is an invoice or a credit memo. Double invoices will be blocked here. They will not go into your system. And yeah, now we finished setting up the first template. I can do this very fast in less than 30 seconds. After a couple of days of training from Willy and his colleagues, you will also be able to do this. It is really not difficult. I will now register it, and then it becomes a registered invoice within our Business Central system. For some of you, this might this screen looks familiar. On the left-hand side, we basically got the standard invoices screen from Business Central, but now all the details have been filled in. And we make sure on the right-hand side that you get to see the original invoice from now on. So it's nice and easy to work with. I'll send it for approval. I will later explain to you the different approval flows that we can set up. To go back, we got one more invoice from Lewis Home Furniture. If I press recognize fields again now everything has been updated. So it got the invoice number, the dates, all the amounts. It remembered 8330 because we put that as a default, and we got the posting description. So now you can immediately register it and you're done. So that's how you can see that, yeah, your workload will get less and less with each template that you make. This was a simple cost invoice. We can also do more. We can also match against your purchase orders in your system, and we can do that in 3 different ways. One, we can match on a total amount level. So document capture will look, okay, the purchase order is worth £1,000 or 1,000 euros. The invoice is 1,000 euros. It matches, and then it will go through. The only downside of this way of matching is that you do not know if you ordered a Lenovo laptop or a Dell laptop. It will just purely look at the amount. And that's why we've invented method number 2, where we can match on a line level. So using the example on the screen, the system can check, did we receive 250 mountings for £1,250, 15 doors or 15 panels, apologies, for £70, and 50 doors for £53.5. And this will make your match very accurate, but it will also allow you to do other things. We can, for example, now do partial matching. So the system can, you ordered 200 pieces and only 100 got delivered, then you can match 100 and leave 100 open. We can match multiple orders on one invoice to multiple orders in the system. We can set up tolerances per supplier. We can tolerances. We can skip the approval if there's a 100% match. So yeah, there's a lot of functionality added because of the line level matching. The third way of matching is manual. Why do you want to match manual? Well, preferably not. But for example, if a vendor forgets to put up your order number, then you need to manually select which order it is, and then the automatic matching will start again. So it's usually when something went wrong. Let me show you. I'm going to press recognize fields. Because of time, I know all of these are correct. And normally this would have matched automatically, but I switched it off because I want to show you. So for manual matching, I go into the button called Match Lines. And this is a screen that we created. On the right hand side, you get to see the original invoice. On the top left, we got the purchase receipt lines, and below we got the order lines. To make sure that we match against the correct one, you can say filter on order number, then it will only show you the orders that are on the invoice. This information is from your Business Central system. We got the whole order over here. And what I can do now is press perform automatic match. And now, as you can see, it matches the whole order. My demo needs to look perfect for you. That's why it matches 100%. But in real life, that will not always happen. Of course, I realize that. And then the difference will be shown here. So, and the line will not be made bold. So the accounts payable team can immediately see where that difference is. Like I said before, we can do partial matching, multiple orders on one invoice. We can set up tolerances per supplier. We can put up a lot of things over here. If we go one step back, in the comments, it will tell this accounts payable team what it did. In this case, it's fully matched with purchase receipt, which is great news. But it can also tell the system or tell accounts payable team, we partially matched this order. We did multiple matches. We could not match because our tolerance level was exceeded. We couldn't match because the order was not received yet by our warehouse. So it will really tell you what it did. I will now register this invoice, and then it becomes a registered invoice within Business Central. I would say that this matching unit is one of our unique selling points. It is really good, and it will really save the accounts payable team a lot of time because it immediately know if it's matched yes or no. In my demo, I will send it for approval. Otherwise, my approval demo is a bit short. And the last invoice that I want to show you today is an invoice with multiple lines. Document capture is very good at capturing lines, and it doesn't matter if they're like 3, like in this example, 50 or 100. It will just continue on until it doesn't find them anymore. And let me show you how. I'm going to press recognize fields and actually know that document capture made a mistake here. If I select the invoice number, you can see by accident it captured the invoice date. So I need to correct that. Very simple. Left-hand mouse button, right-hand mouse button. And now document capture updated the template. You don't have to press any save buttons. It will not make this mistake again. We got all the header fields are okay. So let me show you how to capture these lines because this is pretty nice. If I press document card, we got a tab called lines over here. In the middle, with columns like number, description, quantity, unit cost, discount percentage, discount amount, and line amount. Again, you can fully adjust this to your liking. I'm going to stand in here, and then I'm going to say the item number can be found over here. The description over here. We got a quantity, unit cost, discount percentage, discount amount, And then we have a line amount, which can be found over here. And if I now press recognize fields, and this is really cool, it will capture every line that we can find. We also do this a lot in the retail business, where sometimes they get invoices with, I don't know, 200-300 lines. It will capture 200-300 lines. It's really good. Assuming that there's no purchase order against this invoice and basically treat it as a cost invoice that you maybe want to split out over multiple lines, then you can say, well, the iPad goes to general ledger account A and the mouse goes to general ledger account B. Besides adding general ledger accounts, we can also do item numbers, resources, fixed asset, charge items. Of course, you can add all of your dimensions like your cost centers. No problem, we can do this. Also, the system will be able to remember this for you. So the next time you order an iPad, it can fill in A330. If you filled in your cross-reference table or your item vendor item number table, this will be done automatically, of course. I will now register it. And then instead of getting an invoice with one line, I will now get 3 lines separated like this. And I'll send it for approval. And it's gone. And the same goes for this one. Press recognize fields. And now you can see it captured the correct invoice number. I think that's very important. So if it makes a mistake, you correct it, then next time it's okay. And if I go to the document card, you can now see it got 2 lines, but now it's 8 pieces of them. This is what I wanted to show you today about template making. As you can see, template making is not difficult, but it is the most important part of the document capture implementation, especially in the beginning. The nice thing is that you can make these templates in your test environment, and then you can move everything from test to live. Also, if you got multiple companies in your database, document capture will be able to automatically copy them to other companies within the database. The approval process. We can do the approval in 2 different places. One within Business Central itself, and we have our web approval portal. The web approval portal is basically an approval portal that you can open up on your mobile phone, on your iPad, anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. And the big benefit of the web approval portal is that you can log in with a team member license from Microsoft, which is like the light variant of a full user license. And then you can basically approve in an affordable way. Approvers have a couple of options, or basically we can set up a couple of approval flows. One, we can set up an approval flow based on the user and the limit. Let's say within your company, I can approve up to 1,000 euros. If the invoice is below 1,000 euros, I'm the only approver. If it exceeds 1,000 euros, then it will first go to me and then to my supervisor, Willy in this case. Willy can approve up to 5,000 euros. If it exceeds his limit, then it will go to his manager. So, etc. Of course, you can build in these multiple layers. That's method number 1. Method number 2 is fixed approvers per vendor. We can say vendor number 1 will be done by Willy and me together, and vendor number 2 by Willy alone. And then method number 3 is approval based on dimensions. Let's say you have cost centers. Then we can say if it sees cost center number 1, it will go to that person. If it sees cost center number 2, it will go to another person. The approval flows are quite flexible, and the user will also receive a notification in their role center, and they will receive an email, and you can schedule the email to be sent maybe once a day, once every 2 days. That's the frequency basically that you prefer. And then the user will get an overview of what they need to approve, and they can click on a link, and it will either open up Business Central or it will open up the web approval portal like I'm doing now. While we're waiting for this to load, we can set up reminder emails. So for example, within your organization, we want to approve within 3 days. If it does not get approved, we will send out a first reminder. 2 days after that, another reminder plus a CC to the supervisor. So you can escalate this further and further. This is how the web approval portal looks like. You get an overview of the invoices that you need to approve. Before I'm going to do that, at the top, we can look up in the archive, what did I approve last week? If you have multiple companies in your database, you can toggle between them over here. And if somebody is on holiday or sick, we can set up an out of office. and then the invoices will be forwarded to somebody else. And it's also nice that the finance team will be able to do this for their colleagues if they forget about it. If I click on an invoice, in a second, we'll be able to see the original invoice on the right-hand side where we can zoom in and zoom out and scroll through it over here. We can add comments. And important to know, the whole approval flow, including comments, will be logged from beginning to end so that you, but also the accountants later on can have a look at it. On the left-hand side, we got some details of the invoice and the flow that it will take through your organization. And we got the lines down below, and you can even give your approvers to permissions to make changes to the lines. And you can go quite far with this. You can say, no, you cannot change anything, or you can change some things. It goes quite far. On the top left, we can approve it. We can reject it. If you reject the invoice, we need to fill in a reason why. Otherwise, the accounts payable team doesn't know what's going on. We can forward it in multiple ways. Approve and forward, forward without approval, and the bottom forward and return to me for approval. That one is handy if you want to ask somebody something about this invoice. And we can put it on hold if there's a query. If you're putting it on hold, you need to fill in a comment why. And the nice thing is that the accounts payable team has a full overview of where all the invoices are. And they can also see if something has been put on hold with that comment. So if the vendor calls, why am I not getting paid? They can see it's been put on hold by Willie because of a credit note. You can maybe answer the vendor immediately. I'm going to approve it, and it automatically goes to the next one to speed things up. So I'll just approve them really quickly right now for the time's sake. And now I'm done with the approval on the web approval portal. I now approve as Richard Lam. In Business Central, I'm logged in as Annette Hill, the director. She also needs to approve some invoices. And basically in Business Central, it looks like this. You get to see the original invoice, your to-do list at the top, lines in the middle, the comments down below, and then at the top, approve, reject with the reason, forward in multiple ways, put on hold if there's a query. If you have permissions to do so, you can make changes to the document, add comments, and I believe here is the out of office. I'll press approve, and also here it goes to the next one automatically. Once the invoices have been approved, they come to the final bin, the release bin. Released invoices can be posted, and we can do that one by one in a batch, or we can automatically do it. So maybe every day at 5 o'clock if you want to. And once the invoices are posted, document capture is basically finished. Once they're posted, the normal process that you set up with Simply Dynamics will continue. I assume it will probably go to your banking module, and once the due date is there, the invoices will be paid. And maybe you have an extra approval flow over there, I do not know. But what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna post them, press OK, and a lot of you will know this screen. You can see the posting screen of Business Central, and now the invoices are gone. And basically now we've finished the whole process from beginning to end. So maybe a quick recap. Let's say you're using our software, then document capture will monitor an email address from you. It will download the invoices automatically into Business Central. There will be imported automatically, and the template will be put on top of it that you've created. It will try to match it, treat it as a cost invoice, whatever you have set up. Once that is done, they will be forwarded to the approvers automatically on a flow that you have designed. They will get an email about this, and once they've approved it, it will come back to the accounts payable team here. They can do their final check and then post it either manually or automatically. And this should save a lot of time for the accounts payable team processing the purchase invoices. The last part of this presentation, but not unimportant, how do you find documents back? You find your documents back via Business Central. The first one is document search. Basically, every invoice that is scanned with document capture is fully text searchable. So if you remember you bought an iPad, but you don't know where, I can type in iPad, then it will find every invoice with the word iPad on top of it. And then you can press show document card, where it will show you the invoice plus the template that you created that day or used that day. Or you can press show file, and basically it will open up the PDF file for you. I didn't click correctly, apologies. There we go. And the nice thing is you can search for any word that's on the invoice. It doesn't matter if those are in orange and blue bars. You can search for anything. The whole thing is indexed. Also handy if an accountant asks, can I see these 5 invoices? You can just copy and paste the numbers into here, then you get them. Because we're fully integrated into Business Central, we'll be able to open up the PDF file everywhere where it touches something. So we could do it from the posted invoices, the vendor card, the general ledger accounts, VAT entries. Let me give you an example. If I go to the chart of accounts and I search for 8330, I press balance. And then if I scroll down to an invoice, we can have the button navigate, which is a standard Business Central button. And now we can see the document capture file straight from here. And it opens up the PDF file. So finding them back will become really, really easy. This is what I wanted to show you in this 20 minutes. I know it was very fast. And the system can do a lot more and a lot more cool things, but this hopefully gives you an idea of what it can do for your company. If you want a presentation one-on-one with you and your team, please contact Willy or your other representative at Simply Dynamics, and they'll be able to arrange this for you.
Yeah.
Regarding the software, it was created in 2013, and since then it became one of the biggest add-ons for Dynamics NAV and Business Central, with more than 11,000 customers using this software on a daily basis. And knock on wood, the numbers are still growing, and that's mostly because we're fully integrated into your system, making it easy for Simply Dynamics to install, maintain, and update. For you, the learning curve is quite short because it follows the standard Business Central rules or NAV rules. So you do not have to learn that much. We can do more than a competitor, and it's cheaper. When I can name 20 more very good reasons, but I'll leave it like that. I really hope you liked it, and like I said, if you want a one-on-one, let Simply Dynamics know, and we'll get that sorted for you. And Willy, do you have any questions for me?
No, Martin. Either did a very good or a very bad job, because there's no questions in the. I'm not sure which. There's no questions in the meeting chat so far.
Okay.
So, but look, if anybody has any questions afterwards, actually, if someone wants to try and unmute themselves and ask a question verbally, that's fine too. And hopefully that'll work. This is our first time using Dynamics 365 marketing for organizing the webinar, so we had an issue at the start. That was the reason. So if there's somebody's typing a question here, Martin, but if there's other questions afterwards, we can organize one to one event with our meeting and presentation or demo, follow-on demo, if you like, with each company, and everybody's going to get a follow-on email automatically anyway from us, which information is how to request more information and to get a copy of the recording, etc. But there's no questions. That was just somebody saying thanks, Martin.
Okay. Perfect. Again, if you get questions later on, and we'll probably also you'll get a follow-up email from Simply Dynamics with the recording. And thank you for listening to us today.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks a million. That's the end of the webinar.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Martin. Bye.